This rail line is Aquidneck Island's lost transportation link. If restored, it could help solve traffic and environmental issues on the island. Keep watching to figure out one way you can help make that happen. The Newport Secondary Rail Line is a Rhode Island Department of Transportation owned line that runs from Tiverton to Newport, Rhode Island. The line connects with the National Rail Network in Fall River, Massachusetts, where the MBTA recently restored commuter rail service to, and that could be extended down to Newport Transportation Center. The island is not only a major destination for over 3 million annual visitors, but it is also home to a major employer, multiple colleges, and over 60,000 residents. The major employer is the Newport Naval Base with over 11,000 employees, and connected to that is the War College that turns out about 17,000 students annually. In addition to that, there's many jobs tied in with the tourism industry to support the 3 to 4 million annual visitors. Now, take all these numbers and realize these people are working on an island with limited space and, with that, limited capacity on the roadways. This creates traffic and delays, and this can turn people away from visiting Newport and could even turn away potential workers who could fill the jobs here. Many people who work on the island don't live here because it is either not affordable or there's simply no available housing, so they commute in from other places. One of the places they come from is the greater Fall River, Mass area, where the Newport Secondary ties in with the National Rail Network. To get to work, the people from Fall River take Route 24 south to West Main Road and Burma Road to get to the base. Route 24 actually doesn't go far onto the island, as it was never completed. It ends in Portsmouth and dumps into West Main Road, one of the two main arteries running north-south on the island. The other main road is East Main Road, but that doesn't connect with the base on the west side of the island. This leaves commuters with limited travel options to get to and from work. Consequently, it ends up clogging up the local roads and has at times turned traffic into a standstill when something goes wrong. In August 2024, RIDOT calculated that about 41,000 people cross the Route 24 Sakonnet River Bridge daily, which is actually the most traveled bridge on and off the island, at least during that time. The Newport Pell Bridge comes in at 28,000 and the Mount Hope at 19,000. With no real alternative modes of transportation in place, people are stuck looking for new ways on and off the island. Some may look to use buses, but they travel on the same roads as you would in your car, so it really wouldn't be all that different than driving. It is extremely unlikely Route 24 will ever be extended given the cost of construction and impact to landowners, so the next best option is building upon and expanding the east and west main roads. Those both have significant hurdles to overcome to do so, and those aren't likely either. There's talk about developing Burma Road as another similar corridor, but it and the surrounding properties are owned by the Navy. Much of the adjacent land is contaminated, and would need to have a major environmental cleanup before it is developed. This is a major undertaking, but there is a low-hanging fruit that could help solve some traffic issues. That low-hanging fruit is the previously mentioned Newport Secondary Rail Line. Unlike the Route 24 extension, it already exists as a continuous north-south right-of-way owned by RIDOT. The line can connect with the pre-existing commuter rail in Fall River, then travel south through Tiverton, Portsmouth, Middletown, and Newport. Along the route, the rail can directly serve the Newport Naval Base that is located right along the tracks, and then terminate at the Newport Transportation Center. From there, riders can hop on a bus for the final mile trip or simply walk to their destination. They could also hop on a ferry to Block Island or Jamestown. Newport is a very walkable city, so visitors and workers can use that to their advantage. Most people end up walking anyways, given the either not available or expensive parking. Taking the train in will help get these people out of their cars and ease congestion. Today, the line is only used for tourist train and rail bike operations, which means it is an active and maintained right of way, but not a congested corridor like East and West Main roads. Developing the rail line would give us a true alternative mode of transportation that is environmentally friendly with minimal impacts and a lower cost than other options. It isn't free of its own hurdles, though. The tracks would need to be upgraded or replaced depending on what level of service is offered. The bridge over the Sakonnet River was removed about 20 years ago, so a new replacement would need to be built as well. That might not need to be replaced immediately either, as the line could be redeveloped in stages. First, as a park and ride operation bringing people in and out of Newport without the use of automobiles. At the same time, the line out of use on the mainland between Fall River and Tiverton could be reactivated for freight use. There are a few potential freight customers along that stretch already, and in recent years have publicly said that they would like freight service. Later on, the bridge could be replaced so both freight and passenger trains can serve the island. Some may say freight potential is non-existent on the island, but that's just not true. There is still trash and recyclables moving off the island and commodities like building materials and fuel coming in. There's also the contaminated soil that can be shipped out by rail from the Navy properties if or when they are ever developed. In 2024, a section of Navy property was cleaned up and the contaminated soil from the property was trucked off the island to a rail yard in New Hampshire before being loaded onto rail cars and shipped to Indiana. If the rail line on the island was connected, the hundreds of containers hauling the dirt out of state could have been loaded directly onto trains, as the rail is directly adjacent to the Navy properties. If redeveloped, the properties could also host potential freight rail customers. Just look at Quonset and North Kingstown, where the Seaview Railroad handles over 8,000 rail car loads on the redeveloped Navy property. Having industry on the island would be a positive thing, just like when Kaiser Aluminum, Weyerhaeuser, and the Navy were shipping by rail back in the day. Back to the park and ride idea, this is already close to happening in a way. RIDOT recently built a park and ride a half-mile north of the Newport Transportation Center that happens to be along the railroad. A train could easily connect the two on the existing rail line. Other parking lots could be built in Middletown and Portsmouth so people can ride the train to work at the base or to spend time in Newport. By having a rail park and ride set up, you can fight traffic into already congested Newport. Now, how can you help? Currently, Rhode Island is working on a long-range transportation plan called Moving Forward RI 2050. This plan is currently being drafted, and they are taking public comments until July 11, 2025. This is an opportunity to get our proposal on the transportation plan now. Looking Forward RI is looking ahead to 2050, 25 years from now, but the Newport Secondary isn't on there. If we wait any longer, it won't be put on the plan, and we could be waiting quite a while to utilize this railroad to its full potential. By writing in, you voice your opinion and let it be known that you want rail transportation available to everybody. Now, I have written up a template comment you can submit. Unfortunately, you can't copy and paste into the submission box, but you can upload a file. The comment is written up in a public document that can be downloaded and submitted. The comment and link where this file can be found is in the video description, so be sure to check that out after watching. You can write your own comment as well. While it is best if you are a Rhode Island resident submitting comments, don't be afraid to do so if you're from another area. The Newport Secondary connects with the National Rail Network and goes to Fall River, Massachusetts, so people from that area could also voice their opinion. If you live outside of RI, but travel on and off the island, you do also have a good argument when commenting. And even if you aren't from the area at all, There are over 3 million annual visitors to Newport each year. That could include you as a tourist visiting the area that wants to be able to ride the train into town without the worry of parking and congestion. I want to thank everybody for watching, and be sure to submit your comments in time for them to make the draft.